we're going to invite Mr. Artur Gurau up on stage to kick it off.
Yay, hello. Hello, Budva. It's so happy to see you, and I love this format. We experienced different formats for the events that we are organizing, and I think that this one is the most engaging one. So, I'm Artur Gurau. I'm coming from Moldova. You recently, I think, saw Moldova in the news. Some positive news, finally, from Moldova. I work in communication for 10 years, and I'm happy and honored to represent and give a word of welcome from the Board of Digital Communication Network. And by the way, if there are a lot of influencers in this room, let's connect on Instagram. So, you saw this beautiful slide at the entrance in the conference. We are almost 6,000 people community from more than 30 countries. And we run exchange programs in partnership with our colleagues from World Learning. We organize events like this. I think over the last 3 years, we organized more than 20 events in different countries. Recently, we have started to work more with the local communities, but on that I will elaborate a little bit later. Last year, with the help of our extraordinary team of researchers, we have run a study mapping influencers in 27 countries. And we try to analyze not only who are the most influential influencers based on number of, I don't know, followers, the usual thing that you will follow when, I don't know, you look at the influence and engagement, this is what platforms want us to follow, but we try to analyze also what are their tactics, strategies, and if there are any risks of or opportunities working with them. So I encourage you to look for this study, and we share this specific data with each individual local community that we have. For example, you can find in Facebook, a part of the group, Digital Communication Network Group, you can find DCN Balkans, and there you will find the information specifically on the influencers from Balkans. Following this study, we saw and discovered a big opportunity of creating spaces like this where beautiful minds, talented people, skillful people come together and very interesting synergy happens. What we saw is that when interesting people from different intersection of industry come together, like innovation happens, and in the end this is one of the massive transformative purposes of Digital Communication Network. We believe that influencers should not be engaged in campaigns. Nothing bad with that, campaigns are great, but influencers can actually create their own content and they can launch their own products. On the last 2 months we've been very busy. Basically every week we created meetups, meetings without members in different countries, in Latvia, Estonia, Romania, Ukraine, even in Tunis. We will continue doing that, and we want to encourage you to have a more active role in establishing these communities. For that, the next step would be to use a very interesting, innovative election process. About that we will tell a little bit later. One interesting way of engaging more influencers we discovered in associating ourselves with the Sustainable Development Goals. It's so easy to show to influencers and micro-influencers that they can actually unite around values that everyone shares. So, for example, promoting green energy, it's basically a few days ago, my colleagues launched a campaign for EU neighborhood countries, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia, where micro-influencers are encouraged to create content on the topic of green alternative energy. One interesting experiment that we did in Moldova to go beyond our traditional big influencers, we asked the micro-influencers what are the topics that they would be eager to join and participate for campaigns. And you see the results of this micro-study. We had 66 micro-influencers that said that they want to get involved in projects around education. And on the second place, it was health and general well-being. I'm sure that in different countries, the results on these sustainable goals can differ, right? Yeah, I mentioned about the opportunity, what influencers can do besides like great impact campaigns. You see the transformation that is happening right now around the globe with platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Go, YouTube, raising on the subscription model. And these platforms actually are in a very big competition for quality content. So I think that one of the next steps for influencers is how they can collaborate together or form partnerships and create this type of content. It can be, I don't know, documentaries, reality shows, their own TV shows. So it's not only the platforms, it's only the TV stations as well that are looking for additional audience, because they are kind of losing not only trust but audiences as well. And guess what? A collaboration between old media, or let's say traditional media, I'm sorry, like it's not old, it's just have to be reinvented. And I think that one of the solutions to reinvent and bring back the nice experience with the TV is actually involving content creators, influencers, and so on. What our dream is that setups like this will happen not only 3 times or 4 times a year, but we can actually establish hubs, physical spaces, where influencers can work together, where they can share ideas, where they can learn from each other. So what we need for that? We need your involvement, and we actually want to build partnerships. So during the entire conference, me and my colleagues from the Board of Digital Communication Network have a little room for individual discussions to elaborate ways of how we can build these partnerships, because these hubs will become a reality and it will produce the positive social impact only with our effort together. A little surprise, because we want to focus on products and we see it as a big opportunity, there is an app created by one of the members of Digital Communication Network. It's called Vote Me Up. And I encourage you to find and download this app, because a part of the slogan that it will solve democracy, coming from a creator from Moldova, that can sound tricky a little bit, but believe me, please try this app, because it has a very interesting algorithm of elections, and you can run elections for 1 hour, for 6 hours, for 1 day, for 1 week or 1 month. It can be, I don't know, between friends used deciding who get to pay for the beer, or it can be used to elect who would be the chief of the class, for example. So it's a very interesting, simple exercise to teach elections and democracy at a very, very incipient level, I would say that. But at the same time, at our conference, we will use to select who is the most active forum participant. And we have a prize for the most active participant. What being active means is, of course, creating content with the hashtag DigicomNet, networking, meeting new people, introducing yourself, exchanging contacts on LinkedIn, Instagram, I don't know, Facebook, exchanging business cards and so on. The trick is that you can vote not only for one person, you can actually vote for more persons, but in order to be one of the possible candidates, you have to have the app. And there is actually a very interesting exercise. It's a game, it's an election game, and hopefully it will, with the help of Digital Communication Network, this app that was launched only last week will show exactly what's our promise. And we want the same experience in your case. If you are launching your products, Digital Communication Network wants to offer you a partnership where we can actually scale and launch this app in multiple markets at the same time. So once again, please be active, and I encourage you to exchange ideas, visions, products that maybe you work and you want to go to the next level with them. That's what I wanted to tell. Once again, thank you very much for taking the time. You could be at this time, you know, working at your day job or maybe staying at the beach, but being here with us, it's an investment, it's a dedication of your time, and we really, really appreciate that.